Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and today I wanted to go over some of the upcoming changes for Update 35 and what I'm going to be looking forward to the most as far as the classes, gear, races, stuff like that, just to have a nice base as to where we're going for the current and future patches. First thing I wanted to go over was the set changes and addition to sets. One set that they're adding to the game is called Mara's Bomb, and I definitely recommend checking it out. It looks absolutely broken as far as the healing goes. It looks like the absolute best source of healing for small scale and PvP, so I definitely recommend checking that out for the upcoming patch 35. The next thing I want to talk about was the Oaken Soul nerf. I'm actually really excited about it. I'm kind of over all these one bar builds. I wish that they could find a nice change so that there was a nice balance between having Oaken Soul be viable for PvP for the people that, don't really want to use 2 bars. I know that it's a very uh, heated topic, but I think that in order to have that wide range for people, I think that it's necessary. But either Oaken Soul is broken when it first came out, or I think it's going to be underperforming a bit as far as the proposed changes, changing a lot of the major buffs to minor buffs. I just don't see it being really as competitive as it was in the current state of the game when High Isle first dropped. But I hope that I'm wrong, and I really hope that it's a lot better than I think it is. I think it's going to be absolute F tier, but I hope that people can make it work if you need it. But for me, it's just not going to really cut it this upcoming patch. So I'm going to be taking Oaken Soul off of all my builds starting at update 35 and going forward. Another thing that you need to look forward to is Magma Card is really not going to be needed on stand builds anymore. And I used to run Magma Incarnate on everything, whether it be magic or stamina. But now you don't need to really use it on stamina with the change to Resolving Vigor, because Resolving Vigor gives you minor resolve on activation. So you don't really need that from Magma Incarnate anymore. So there's a more of a wider range to use on monster sets now going forward for stamina builds, in my opinion. Also, another change that I'm kind of excited about, but also kind of bummed about, is the change to Plague Break. I think that the cooldown on it is kind of long, and I think that it's necessary to make other sets viable for PvP. I still think that Plague Break is going to be a viable set, but I think that with the extended duration on it, I think that it's kind of gonna go on the low tier of it on of the sets. But I still think for certain scenarios, I still think it's going to be viable. Also, one thing that I'm actually really looking forward to is Hrothgar being back. Maybe, I don't know. I still want to do some testing, but apparently it's non-blockable now, so that damage could actually be kind of juicy. Say if you're using a DK and you use Talons, it might be interesting. I'm definitely going to be checking that out starting in update 35. Also, the one thing that I'm so happy about is Calirian's getting nerfed to the ground. The damage on that does absolutely nothing now, and I'm so excited for that burst to be gone. I think it is a terrible set, and I think that running that on your Stam Blades and such is such a carry, and I absolutely hate that set so much, and I'm so thankful to see it be leaving Cyrodiil, hopefully. So that is the last of the sets that I want to go over. Let's go over some classes now. Also, guys, remember, this is all just my opinion as far as the opinions go. So please don't bring out those pitchforks and torches in the comments. This is just what I think. You don't have to think that way. This is just what I think. I'm going to go over 3 classes real quick that I think is going to be S tier for the upcoming patch, but, again, just my opinion. First, I want to say Stam DK. I really think it's going to be S tier. I think that you're going to be able to get so tanky on a Stam DK that's unbelievable. Having just your regular armor buff, having that major resolve, using Resolving Vigor to be minor resolve. So having the 2 of those, that's going to be huge with your tankiness alone. And now that you don't need Magma Incarnate, you could just use Bloodspawn, and that's another little bit of armor right there. And that's so tanky with just those 3 things. 2 of them are skills, and one of them is just your monster set. That makes so much room for other abilities and skills and sets. It's so wide open, and I really think that Stam DK is going to be S tier in the upcoming patch. Next on my list of classes that I think are going to be S tier, I think Stamblade is going to be S tier for sure. I think with the buff to surprise attack, having a guaranteed crit every 4 seconds is kind of huge. That you can also crit in between those 4 seconds, but that guaranteed crit is going to really help the brawler builds of the game, and I'm really kind of excited to see how that goes. I might play my brawler blade again. We'll see. I'm not used to playing it too often, but it's kind of the proposed change where it looks like it's going to be a lot of base damage, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll have to see how it goes. And the third S tier class I think there's going to be is what I'm really excited for, actually. I think Stand might be S tier. Getting that tankiness from major and minor resolve from your resolving vigor and then also your armor buff is going to be really tanky alone. And I think with the buff to Arctic Wind being able to be based off of your max weapon or spell damage, I think that's huge. I'm so glad that the system of having everything based off of your max health, like your Arctic Wind was before, I think that's so archaic. Like, that's not needed in the game. So having that based off of your max weapon spell damage, I think that might create an actual nice burst heal. And also having that same skill be able to stun people on the first hit, I think that's kind of huge, and I'm really excited. I think that those were two things that Stamden and Magden both missed, was a burst heal and a stun. And they kind of made it a 2-for-1. Yeah, I kind of wish that they made the stun a completely different skill than your heal, but honestly, I will still take it. I think it's better than what we had, and I'm very excited to test out Stamden. And let me just give one honorable mention about something I really want to try. I used to absolutely love Magden so much. It used to be absolutely so much fun to me, but they absolutely butchered the class in order to nerf Stamden. So I really think that Magden might make a comeback with that burst heal buff with the Arctic Blast buff. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to check it out. I don't know if it's going to be S tier. You know, don't quote me on that. I do not know if it's going to be S tier. I don't think it's going to be S tier. We will see. I think it's going to be fun, though, and I'm very, very, very excited to try it out. All right, guys, on to races. Not really much has changed with the races. I'm still only using Breton for magic and then Imperial for stamina. The reason why I use them is because on basically all my builds for PvP, I use Vampire Stage 3, and that gives you an Undeath passive, which gives you so much tankiness the lower health you are. So I definitely recommend that. It'll really help out your tankiness. But having Breton on your magic builds, you have a 6% reduced cost as one of your passives to all your magic abilities. So that's going to counteract the increased cost of your vampire, of your abilities because you're a vampire. So the two of them counteract, and you don't really have sustain issues because of that. And so I use Breton because of the magic one. And then for Imperial, which is unfortunately the only race in the game that you don't have at the base game, you have to buy an extra Imperial edition to get. I use that on my stamina classes because that will give me 6% reduced cost to all of my abilities, not just skills. It'll be also for your roll dodge, block, etc., stuff like that. So I definitely recommend using Breton for magic and Imperial for stamina. Hell, if you want to do Imperial for magic as well, I would recommend that too. But I definitely recommend using both of those for your races. I think that it is the absolute best ways to go as far as sustainable PvP goes. All right, guys, that's basically everything I wanted to go over. If there's anything I missed, I kind of just put this together real quick and wanted to just, share my thoughts with you guys. If there's anything I missed, please, please, please tell me. I would love to hear your guys' feedback about what you're excited for, what you're not excited for. There are a lot of changes that I'm not too happy about, like the Templar changes and stuff like that, with the changes to jabs. But I think that overall there's a lot more positive than negatives coming from this upcoming patch, and I rarely ever say that when it comes to ZeniMax patches. So I really, really mean it. I really hope that the upcoming changes are really good. We'll have to see starting the 22nd for PC. I don't remember what day it is for console, but I just know that August 22nd for PC is when patch 35 goes, or update 35 goes live. So guys, let me know how you like it. If there's anything you're looking forward to, please let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, I would always appreciate if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me so much. And liking the video helps as well. Helps put me in the algorithm a lot more. And we get to put out a lot more videos that way. So guys, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys staying to the end. I will see you guys on the next. Later.